Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Crusader Kings 2 Race for an Empire with good old House Fleming. Who else? So, the introduction video was done, which gave you a quick whistle-stop tour of the overview of the situation. And since then you have commented, you have given your advice, and I have taken an in-depth look at the situation as best that I could to make my short-term and medium-term plans. So before we start today's session proper, I'm just going to go through some of the strategies and plans that are going to be taken up and adopted into the campaign to try and bolster our chances of success. So first of all, thank you to everybody that did respond and give me advice. Much appreciated. It always helps me to advance in the game and get better at it. And so first of all then, we have the situation with the too many duchies. We need to give away duchies to get rid of that penalty. Too many duchies is just too much land to handle anyway, so we need to keep two. Apparently it's two that is the limit. Now, first of all, King Bohemond is an envious sort of fella. He gets jealous of people who seem to have more than he does. And therefore, if any duke had a larger duchy than him, although he has the whole kingdom, it just wouldn't sit right. So he has to have control of the two largest duchies in the kingdom, just to further cement his power. Now, those two duchies are Brittany and Normandy. Normandy is a no-brainer because he's grown up in Normandy, and Normandy is his home more so than Cornwall. And Brittany, even though right now it's a little bit troubled because it's recently conquered, we're foreigners, and well, they just don't like us. Most of their counts, their vassals, our vassals here, they just don't like us. We've conquered them. They're rebellious, but we can quell those in good time. We want the duchy. It's large, potentially powerful, and it would be no good in somebody else's hands. So they are the two duchies that we aim to keep. Other duchies that we have that we're going to give away are going to be given away to fellow Flemings. Keep it in the family. Further expand the Flemings' name. So that is going to be the plan. So the king has sat down with his advisors, and he has nominated various family members to take the various duchies that we're about to give away. And he's called them forth to his castle, and I'm sure they're queuing up outside his door, rubbing their little mitts, eager to find out what land they are being given. It's like Christmas come early, in the 19th of June. So that is the first strategy that we have to adopt. The second strategy is to take care of this war that's going on. We need to put them down like the dogs they are. Imprison the heathens that dare to rise up against the king. And to do that we need to win. And to win, I've been informed by 26 CLT that, and a couple of others as well, that as the game in its current state stands, you get a lot more war score than you used to do for simply winning the war in the battlefield. So crushing the armies in the battlefield without even sieging holdings gives you a lot more war score than it used to do. So the goal for the early stages is to unify, to bring together, to merge together the armies that we have, and then take them on a campaign through England, crushing down enemy armies. And then we'll take it from there. We'll see how much war score we get from that and see if we can end the war quickly. Because we need to end the war quickly. Normally, we go for the full demands, the full mashings, to crush our enemies like bugs. The full mashings here, we imprison the plot starter and the plot inheritor. And we get 100 prestige and they lose 200. For a white piece, which should be easier to get, it should require a much lower war score. The people are still imprisoned, which is exactly what we want, but we get a little bit less prestige and they lose a little bit less prestige. My focus right now is not worrying about 50 or 100 prestige here or there. My concern is putting down this rebellion as quickly as possible and imprisoning those that are responsible. A white peace gets that, and therefore I'm not going to be going for the full 100% war score here. I'm going to be putting down these as quickly as possible, and I'm going to sue for a white peace because it will still achieve what ultimately we need to happen. So that's going to be my target. Crush the armies in the field, get the white peace and end the rebellion nice and quick. Of course, sounds easy to do. There's going to be a few bumps along the way, I'm sure. So that is the two short-term plans, the two up-and-coming things that we need to do to get some stability. But there's also some long-term plans and some long-term strategies. So before we start the ball rolling, you'll have to bear with me. I'm just going to go through those because people have suggested them and it's worth just mentioning. First of all, I was considering creating kingdom titles. Apparently, not a good choice. Don't create any kingdom titles that you don't need. Until you need to get them to form the Empire of Britannia, kingdom titles will not be created. Also, feasts are the order of the day. Kellerell reminding me that feasts have a part to play to increase vassal relationships. We need to increase vassal relationships as quickly as possible to try and get a stable England. But we need peace to be able to hold a feast. So of course that will come after that. Scotland has been war-torn for many a year, and we need Scotland under our control to get the Empire of Britannia. One of the best ways, or one of the quickest ways to do it, a possible way to do it, is through marriage. So we're going to keep an eye on marriage alliances that we can sort of garner here and use those to our advantage. But again, that's more medium term. Crown law, we are trying to pass the medium authority. It's going to be a long time before this passes, but we need this to pass. So first, to mainly stop the infighting that's going on. It's just horrendous. People clutching over hand and fist to get land for themselves. Greed is just running rampant here, and the more greedy these people are, the more they raise their own levies for their own gain, the less they give to me for my own gain, and we can't have that. And succession law here, we need to change this to agnatic cognatic where possible. We need to allow females to inherit, just in case there is a distinct lack of males in any of our future rulers, to prevent any sort of major issues cropping up. So that's something to keep our eyes on as well. So that is the main strategies to adopt in the medium term. We've also got some tips and hints about general gameplay that was given to me. Of course, technology as it currently stands is based upon your learning, but also combined with the stat for the relevant technologies. So for military it will be martial, for economy it will be stewardship, and for cultural it will be diplomacy. Those two state learning, or two state stats, I think, will be combined together to assess how quickly you gain points. And when you get enough points, you can outright buy an upgrade to the next level of technology. All of these increase slowly but surely, but as soon as you get enough points, you can bump it up a level straight away. So thanks to Hyper CK2 for that advice. The two techs that we will be focusing on throughout the rest of this campaign will be military organisation, which I think gives us an assistance with our retinue, and legalism, which gives us assistance in increasing our domain limit. So they are the two that we will be looking at increasing as quickly as possible. Speaking of retinue, we need to get a retinue eventually, because we disbanded it not so long ago by mistake. And the retinue that we will be focusing on is the elite English longbowmen. Apparently, when used correctly, they are extremely deadly and unique to England as well. So these will be the retinues that we will be focusing on. They're quite cheap as well, which is also another bonus. And then command the army, mix them with some levies, and command the troops with a High Marshal English General. And you're looking at a deadly army. Thanks to Promethean Anarchist and Young Grognard for bringing that to my attention. So that is the general overall strategies and underpinning tactics that we're going to use in the medium and short term. So all that is left really is to get on with it. You've waited long enough. You're itching to see what happens, aren't you? So am I. So bring forth the ups and downs and rounds as we look to become emperor. So what do we do first? Right, well, come on, what do we do first? First of all, I'm going to take things slowly and surely, as I always do. So if you want a quick outcome here, you've come to the wrong place. We have some prisoners. And I might as well deal with these first. Now, Asletin is just recently been in prison for some kind of treachery, of which I do not know. But he has a really, really bad negative opinion. He's currently at war with me as well. I think he's taking part in this war. How do I see this? Bear with me. He is the Duke of Gloucester. He holds... okay, where is he? He's here. No, he's not there. Wait a minute. Where is he? I lose track of these things. Where the flaming... He's here. There he is. Yes, he's defending against... Oh, no, he's defending. He's on my side. Okay. Forget what I'm saying. I'm confused. Anyway, he's in prison. He's not going anywhere. I'm not going to release him. Not going to ransom him. Not going to execute him either. We are, despite our childish and... I say childish, what we described as... I've forgotten. He's charitable. He has a soft side occasionally, and therefore, where possible, he'll avoid slitting the throats and hanging his prisoners. You know, he'll just let them rot in prison if he needs to, but he can show a lenient side, of which he's going to show now. You see, there's two people in my prison that assisted me in a plot to kill my elder brother, which eventually led to me being put on the throne. Handy. And I'm sure these two are sat there rubbing their mitts together thinking, oh, because they've heard the news, King Bohemond is on the throne, that nasty King or Duke George II of, you know, bloody Cornwall, first of Normandy, who put us in here, is dead, spit on his name. They're looking to be released, expecting to be released. Now got Zello, is an uncle of ours. He's far removed from the succession line. He has no land. He probably doesn't crave any land, and he doesn't really hate me too much. So therefore we're going to show our charitable side and release this man. Let him live out the last few pathetic years of his existence with his family, his wife, and enjoy it far away from British lands, because I think he was initially over here somewhere. And hopefully, I don't know if it's not telling us that it's going to happen, but if we do release prisoners, we do sometimes get an increase of opinions with our vassals, showing our merciful side. So he's going to get released. Off he goes. As I say, he can live out the rest of his days over here with his wife, his children, and welcome the fresh air once again. So as Zello walks past the dungeon, you know, the door, the cell door of Toth, I'm sure Toth is smirking to himself, expecting to be next. But, well, we'll do him the honour of telling him ourselves, King Bohemond walking up to Toth and explaining to him in no certain terms that he's not going anywhere. He is a pretender and a successor, or whatever, claimant to the throne of England. And our good old Bohemond is a little bit paranoid, and as old age creeps up, paranoia increases. You get more and more paranoid, you see shadows where they're none. And I'm sure he thinks that Toth Fleming, although assisted in killing elder brother George, which put me on the throne, maybe he would have started up a second plot if was allowed to do so, to put me in an early grave so that he could become king. He's too dangerous a man to be allowed to walk free, and therefore he shall stay where he is. Brother, you did me a service, but you're still going to rot in prison, because I'm a paranoid old man and I can't trust you. Sorry to rain on your parade, buddy. So he's staying in prison, and I'm sure he's shaking the bar, screeching as King Bohemond walks away to never set his eyes upon his face again. So that is the prisoners dealt with. We move on then to divvying up the land of the Flemings. We have 5 duchies to give away, and there are 5 people queuing outside my door, open palm, expecting to be given something. So who are these people? Well, we'll start from here. We'll start with the petty duchies in Ireland. We have Connacht. We have the county and the duchy under our control. We're going to give both away. And we're going to give them to... We're going to give them, funnily enough, to... I have already written these down, so it shouldn't take me too long. We're going to give these to a particular man. You see... We are a charitable man in some respects. We hold no grudges. As much as we have kept our brother in prison, it's not out of nastiness, it's just out of paranoia, you know, it's just out of our own security. So we hold no ill will really for his side of the family. So to show that we are not completely, you know, nasty and hold a massive grudge, we're going to give his youngest son the opportunity for some land. He likes us. We're his uncle. We don't mind him. He has some children. He could have some more. I say he's a decent candidate to be given some land. We're not going to give him too big a duchy, too powerful a duchy, in case he in case he does start to resent us for keeping his father in prison. But we're going to give him something to show a little bit of goodwill to that family line. So we're going to give him the landed title of the Duchy of Connacht and the county, and he's going to love us for it. Duke Richard of Connacht. Somebody better not tell Toth about this, otherwise he might just flip a lid. So yeah, there you go. Welcome to the realms of the Dukes. You have risen in status in the click of a finger. He has, yep, the duchy and the county, and he loves us for it. At least we have some people that like us around here. So we move on then to the Duchy of Monster. We have 3 contenders. We have Earl Abelard of Desmond, who doesn't like me. We have Earl Philip of Ormond, who doesn't like me. And we have Sylvester of Thomond, who doesn't mind me. But more importantly, I really like this guy. Why does King Bohemond like him? I don't know. Maybe it's his moustache. Could well be. But he's a decent chap. He is elderly. But he is the prime candidate to take control of the duchy. And so it shall be. He doesn't need lower titles because he already has a land within here. So let's give him the Duchy of Monster. There we go. Voila! Another one elevated in position. Another one walks out of our hall with a great big smirk on his face as King Bohemond screams, "Next!" and the next man steps through. And who is that next man? Well, it is Earl Rainulf of Gwent. He doesn't really like me too much, but we'd like him. And when compared to the other earls within Deheubarth, he is the lesser of a bad bunch. So, we're going to raise him up. We're going to grant him the Duchy of Deheubarth. There you go. Enjoy it. Reign supreme. But of course, keep me in your thoughts because you belong to me. So another one walks out, rubbing his mitts, smirking and ordering a feast. Who's next? We have another one to give away. We have Cornwall, oh, the homeland, the birthplace of Duke George I of Cornwall. God rest his soul. We're going to keep this in the family as much as we can. And I mean the immediate family. We're giving these other lands away to distant relations. This needs to stay close. We do not completely disregard our heritage. So my eldest son and heir to the throne of England shall watch this in my absence. Here he is, Thurston, 26 years old. When I die, he shall be who we take control of, unless something happens to him, of course. He shall be given responsibility for the Duchy of Cornwall and also the county, because we currently hold the county of Cornwall. He needs that as well. So he will rule in our stead. And of course, because he is the Count of Evro also, he takes that across with him, which is a little bit of a bummer, because it would be nice for it to be within our Normandy Duchy to keep things nice and neat. But it doesn't matter. He's still a vassal of ours, we still get the upkeep, etc, etc. And when we die, we take control of him, so it goes back under his control anyway, so it's all swings and roundabouts, as it were. So there's one more duchy to give away. The Poisoned Chalice of Flanders. The Holy Romans are setting their sights on taking this entire duchy away from the English, and I have no doubts they're going to be waging war with us soon enough. Because I think our truce might be ending soon. Or it might already have ended, yes. I think it's been 10 years since they took Ghent, and therefore I wouldn't be surprised if they come marching across wanting the next piece of land in this little puzzle. So for the time being, we have Bruges, the capital of Flanders. It's the capital of England right now. And therefore, if we give the duchy title away, they're not going to get Bruges. We're going to keep Bruges for ourselves. We can't move the capital city because we've already seemed to have moved it once in our lifetime. So we're going to have to keep it. So, excuse me. We're going to have to give the title away to a landed county within here. Because if we give this away to a non-landed a non-landed character, family member, they're not going to have any land at all. So the closest that we have to family in Flanders is Earl Frere of Ypern. That's how you pronounce it. He is a cousin. Now, I've had a look through, he's a distant cousin somehow, but he is a cousin. He's not a Fleming per se, but he is a relation, and therefore that will do. Now, my only concern is that there is an imprisoned Countess Eleanor here of Artois, and she has 2 lands. So she has quite a bit of power within this duchy, so she could prove problematic for him as the Duke. But she's in prison, she's not going to be released anytime soon, and I'm hoping that he can cope. So, buddy, say hello to Flanders. There you go. He takes Flanders, and he already has Ypern. So he now has control of there, and therefore she becomes his problem, not ours. In fact, we could even release her now as well, because, in fact, if we release her from prison, wow, people think we're merciful. Her opinion would rise with me a little bit, but she still wouldn't like her liege, and therefore she would probably start to plot and scheme against him. I think we need to keep her in there, just for his sake, really. So there we go. Just like that, the lands were divvied up amongst our family members, and the negative penalties that we get for having too many held duchies is gone.